lots of things still going on in our great community. Very busy week around town.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got some good stuff going on.
Yeah, but before we get into that, I got a couple of shout outs. I had some crazy things happen to me sometimes, and I'm sure this happens to other listeners too. But y'all, I cannot make this up. So I was invited to Cousin Russell's for their Memorial Day hoot nanny. So shout out to Cousin Russell and his beautiful wife. So y'all, I went to shut the passenger side door on my car, and it wouldn't close. It would not close at all. So after, we'll just say, debating my life choices for a minute, I decided that since I live so close, I just creep down the back roads real slow and hope nobody was behind me. And if you were, I deeply apologize. So as soon as I got there and mentioned it, Scott York, thank you, and Jamie Sweeney immediately sprang into action, quickly joined by Luke Ryan and, of course, Cousin Russell himself. Y'all, somehow this impromptu engineering team figured out a way to keep my door shut long enough to save the day. It basically just needed to be locked, but I'm taking it to the shop today. Much obliged, y'all. You are the real MVPs of Memorial Day, but I will say this. I'm not sure if you really vibe with this or kind of understand if you don't live in this area, because I know the show is heard from all over the world. There's a certain amount of comfort that I personally take when I see a couple of Southern gentlemen whipping out their pocket knives in an effort to work on anything around here. It just makes me feel better. So guys, thank you for helping me out. I felt like it's such the damsel in distress yesterday, y'all.
Well, I tell you, good friends are hard to find, and it's just good to have great friends like Cousin Russell and the whole team. And it's always fun to be with friends I know and to have that kind of support. And it's going to be a good day here on the Noon Show. We've got a new friend we're going to be visiting with that we're looking forward to. But we want to first remind you of some great things going on this week. And wow, we've got the library center stage this week, don't you think?
In all kinds of ways.
Oh, yes.
We've got something big coming up on Saturday. But I wanted to mention really quickly, did y'all know that they have trivia night at the Tuscaloosa Public Library on the second Tuesday of every month, and it starts at 6. So just bring your friends and your family and, your best guesses. This is for all the brainiacs, bookworms, and just anybody who's curious, young and old. This is for all ages. Fun facts, friendly competition, and prizes, which who doesn't like prizes?
Yeah, and another thing going on that we want to remind everybody, our friends over at the Bama Theater reminded us that June and July is blockbuster months. They'll be showing some great old movies. 7 o'clock at night. They've got a special on Friday night at 7:30. And then you can go to a morning movie at 10 o'clock at the wonderful historic Bama Theater.
That's right.
And there's a whole list of special, Saving Private Ryan, Jaws, a whole group of Marvel movies. And so if you want to have some fun, enjoy a beautiful old historic setting, go down to the Bama Theater beginning right now. You can go down and check out a movie. And there's nothing like a box of popcorn at the Bama Theater, sitting in that beautiful old theater. I tell you, it's just fantastic. So let's support our folks down at the Bama and the Arts Council and enjoy the movies.
True. And I think a good friend of ours has got something coming up on the 29th.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this is a very, very historic evening, a very, very special commemoration type of project. And this is the Bloody Tuesday banquet coming up this Friday night, May the 29th, from 6 to 8 p.m. down at the Beulah Baptist Church. And Ramsey always comes to see us, and we want to support. He chairs the Bloody Tuesday Committee, and they're doing so much to commemorate this unbelievably historic civil rights period of Tuscaloosa's history. And this is always a very memorable event. So if you'd like to go, it's on Friday night. Admission's only $40. And it's be honoring all the foot soldiers from Bloody Tuesday. And there's several foot soldiers here living today in Tuscaloosa that were part of that particular very, very tragic event. But now,
That's right.
thanks to Ramsey and his team, they're really keeping this in front of us because Tuscaloosa has a rich, rich civil rights history. So if you're interested, Bloody Tuesday Banquet, it's Friday night down at the Beulah Baptist Church.
That's right. We have something really exciting coming up on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny.
Get ready.
Does that ring a bell?
It's getting ready. I tell you what, it's the first ever. Matter of fact, we think it's first ever in the nation. We can't find anybody that's done this before.
Uh-huh.
And it is sure enough the first annual
Devil Egg Throwdown.
Throwdown. That's right. And this is going to be Saturday from 2 to 4 down at Druid City Brewing. Bo Hicks will be hosting us. We've got live music with Harrison McCullough. We've got, I think it's 14 or 15 restaurants that are going to be competing for the best deviled eggs in the world. And some of them are doing some sneaky stuff because they won't tell us what they're fixing.
I know. We keep trying to pump them for
won't
information,
tell us.
but they are, lips are sealed. Lips
They
are
will
sealed.
not
I can
tell us.
respect that, but I do get excited.
I've tried everything to get a little bit of hint of what they're going to be fixing. But what's so interesting, Sunshine, is that not only do we have a great number of great restaurants,
Yeah.
but the diversity of our restaurants. I mean, deviled eggs from a German restaurant, from Hispanic restaurants, from Asian restaurant, Southern barbecue. I mean, we've got it all. And so can you imagine what those are going to be like?
I'm trying
Oh.
to, but one of our judges commented in a group text today about he said he was probably going to fast for 24 hours before he goes to the throwdown.
You know,
Yeah,
the
shout out to
judges-
Steve Shannon.
Think about the judges. I was talking with Steve in D.C.
Yes.
this morning, and they're just pumping the fool out of it. By the way,
Look,
went
we
by-
really appreciate them.
I went by FedEx this morning to get some certificates made.
Yeah,
You know what the folks at the counter said?
what'd they say?
Are these certificates for this Saturday? And I said, well, as a matter of fact, they are. I said, oh, yeah, we've heard about the throwdown.
Oh my gosh!
Just random folks.
Well,
and
don't
I
we
said,
have a
well,
great committee?
I hope you're coming. They said, oh, yeah, we're not going to miss this.
This is this is wild.
It was just random.
This is my idea bomb, but the good people at 205 Restaurant. Shout out to
Oh.
Cody Duffy and his team, and Bo Hicks,
But this is
and
gonna
the
be so much
ladies of the
fun.
library and the foundation and friends.
That's right. It's all for
Wow.
the library. And
Yes.
remind everybody, yeah, every dime we make goes to the library's bookmobile.
Yeah, and our
And-
judges are all promoting it.
Judges are, and then we've got great sponsors, Town Square Media, Harrison Construction, and BF Goodrich. Now, BF Goodrich, when you buy a ticket for
Ooh.
$10, it
Right.
automatically puts you in the drawing for
Mhm.
a $1,000 BF Goodrich tire certificate.
Mhm.
So, I mean, these folks have bought in, they're supporting us, and everybody, y'all come out and you buy as many tickets as you want. Every time you buy a ticket, you get in the drawing.
That's
and you
right.
get to vote for your best, most favorite deviled egg.
That's right.
Kind of a cool thing.
It is exciting, and
It's gonna
there's
be fun.
also the People's Choice Award.
People Choices Award is you get to vote, judges get to vote.
And the best thing about it is this is all to support the Tuscaloosa Public Library's
That's right.
Bookmobile.
That's
It's a
right.
charity
It's going to be a
fundraiser.
hootenanny, and Harrison McCullough's going to
Live music, yeah.
give in his time for 2
Mhm.
hours of live music. So
Yeah, and thank you to Town Square Media as well
that's
for also
right.
being one of the
And
presenting
Bo
sponsors.
Hicks, I think,
And
is
Bo
giving
Hicks.
a percentage of anything y'all might want to drink down there.
I'm so excited about this, y'all.
It's really building, and we're so happy about the buzz that's happening across the community. First ever, never been done before, and we have got a successful hootenanny on our hands.
That's right. But speaking to Restaurant 205 and Bistro that same day, so what you're going to want to do after you depart from the Devil Egg Throwdown, get you a nap. Okay, get you a quick nap. Then we're all going to gather at Restaurant 205 and Bistro for Live at the 205, featuring a special performance by Stephanie Woodruff.
Yeah, boy, can
Y'all,
she
6
sing.
to 8 o'clock.
She can sing. My goodness, what a voice!
Ooh.
But
Oh, yeah.
now
She
there's
is
some other
quite
things
the
going on
songbird.
this weekend that we don't want to overlook. But the moms
The Mom Prom is the
Mom
same.
Prom
That's
is
at the
at
Bryant
night.
Conference Center,
It's
and
at
that
night.
starts at 6 o'clock.
And you can make that too.
Right, and that's to support foster care.
That's right. It is.
We
And
have a
so
lot of great initiatives here in this
lots
community,
of
y'all.
things going on.
Yeah, and don't forget River Market on Saturday morning.
That's
You can
right.
do that before the throwdown. But you've also got the Kentuck's Art Market that's just right across the street, right?
That's right.
I mean, isn't that incredible? And then don't forget River Market. We always think Saturday morning. You would be correct. However, now Tuesday afternoons from 3 to 7 for the months of June and July.
Hmm. They have
Okay.
started, they have a crowd on Tuesday afternoons when they do this. So that starts in June, I believe, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
So,
June and July.
yeah. And so great time for so many fun stuff.
Yeah, we got Father's Day coming
Yeah,
up.
Father's
I think we'll wait and talk about that one because we've got so much in front of us
We
right
do,
now. I think I
we
don't want to
do.
muddy the water, but
Lots of
y'all,
activities.
we've got something else exciting going on too. So we're in the middle of celebrating Hudson Pool's 41 wonderful years in business
Oh, wow, yeah.
with a big anniversary sale, and it's happening right now, y'all, through May the 30th.
That's so right. And right now you can save up to 60% off the fine jewelry and those unique gifts throughout the store. It's a perfect time to be shopping for all of the different events going on. There's graduations and anniversaries and birthdays and Father's Day's coming up. And you know, just because is a good
That's
reason.
true. And also, Hudson Pool has a beautiful selection of fine jewelry, sparkling diamonds, watches, and unique gifts for every style and every budget.
That's right. And you know, after 4 decades, think about that, serving this community, Hudson Pool is proud to continue to be the trusted name in fine jewelry and personal service.
But don't wait too long. You're going to want to shop early for the best selection during this anniversary sale.
That's right. So visit our friends down at Hudson Pool, 1111 Greensboro Avenue in beautiful downtown T-Town.
That's right. Celebrate life's special moments with something unforgettable.
Yeah, go see our friends at Hudson Pool today.
And just tell them that Lisa and Johnnie sent you.
That's right.
That's right. So, Johnnie, most people don't stay with the same bank for 20 years.
Oh, well, that's true, but Bryant Bank's not just any bank.
Well, what makes it different?
Well, it's really simple. It's trust. They've been
Oh.
consistent from the day they opened their doors, and that matters to every customer.
It really does.
It does, and you know what to expect. They're friendly people, professionals. They give you clear answers and the real help when you need it.
That's right. There's no surprises and no confusion.
Exactly, and just good service every single time you walk in.
Well, that's what builds loyalty, Johnny Rocket.
And that's why customers have stayed with them for over 20 years.
Exactly. You can visit Bryant Bank in any one of their beautiful locations, North River, Northport, and beautiful downtown T-Town, or online at bryantbank.com.
That's right. And remember, Bryant Bank is an equal housing lender and a member of
FDIC.
Go see our friends at Bryant Bank today.
Okay, guys, we're going to go to commercial and pay some bills. And when we come back, we're going to have this super spectacular artist. She's a painter. Her name is Kate Osmond, and we are really excited to introduce you to today to our listeners. So, guys, buckle up because it's going to be a ride. This is a good one. You've been listening to the Noon Show on FM 100.1. Don't go away. We will be here right back.
Back to the noon show right here on FM 100.1. Thank you for joining our fun little family. And
Yeah.
we have become, I think, the front porch of the community, and we appreciate all of you listeners. Man, do we have a great show today. It's going to be exciting.
Oh, we do. So here's a question for you. What if one of the most interesting ways to understand science, humanity, and even modern America was through the eyes of an artist hanging off the side of of a building with a camera? Oh my gosh, y'all. In case you're just now joining us, we have virtually with us in the Noon Show studio via Microsoft Teams. Her name is Kate Osmond, and what a fabulous middle name, by the way. Nationally recognized interdisciplinary artist based in Charleston, South Carolina. Her work has been featured nationally. She's been named a South Carolina State Fellow for the Arts. And what makes her work so fascinating is that she explores everything from aerial cityscapes and industrial environments to pharmaceuticals, insects, human emotion, and the modern American experience. Kate, welcome to the Noon Show studio.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Hi, Kate. It's great to meet you.
Okay, guys, here's how this came about, because I've never met Kate before in person, and or really kind of virtually, and we've been kind of chatting via text and email. So if you're ever go to dinner at, I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it's in the Forte. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you go to Forte, they have hanging up is this spectacular painting. It's called Sunspec Number 5. And there's paintings, there's other paintings around, and they're all great and all, but Sunspec Number 5 really spoke to me. And I immediately, me being me, this is kind of how I roll sometimes. I've got to meet this person. So now we're here and we're talking to you. So thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show. Will you tell us a little bit about Sunspec Number 5? I want to start with that, if that's okay.
Absolutely. If I could describe it a little bit for our viewers, it is a round painting. It's pretty big. It's over 3 feet. Mm. And if you can imagine a sunrise or a sunset in the distance and a golden path leading to the sun on the horizon, and I tried to make it as glowing and as colorful and as uplifting as I can, but also give it graphic elements. So there's a lot of straight lines in there, even though it is a natural landscape.
It draws your attention.
It really does. Yeah, and the pathway gives yellow brick road vibes to me. What do you think about that? I'm not sure if that was your intention. What are your comments on that?
Oh, absolutely. I've heard that a lot from viewers, and I think a lot about the idea of a golden path, because we're all on a path, we're all on a journey. It's rarely a straight line that leads us forward in our life.
Amen to that. Yes, ma'am.
It's all beautiful, it's all golden, and it's reflective of everything that we're surrounded by.
Kate, you are it's really an eye-catching piece, but we've looked at some of your other things online. You've got a unique perspective. You almost combine science and art in the way you look at things.
Definitely.
Right.
Growing up, being an artist wasn't a real profession, where I was. And so I went into biology first in college, and I learned all about, life and chemistry, and I wasn't very good at it, but I had that background, but my heart really was in art. Mm-hmm. And so I think that I've pulled every experience that I've ever had together, and it just fostered this huge wonder about the life that surrounds us. We'll never understand it all, but it really is worthwhile to just look with questions in our mind and wonder what the connections are that pull everything together.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering right off the bat, what's your connection with Tuscaloosa? How do you get your artwork installed here? I hope that's a fair question.
I was contacted when they were building the Alamite, because the person who was curating the art was a fan of my work, and she asked for that piece to be custom made. And so I took all of the imagery and influence that I had from the town together to come up with that piece. And I used to go to Alabama a lot as a child, and I fell in love with the red earth. And this summer, I'm also going to have a piece at the Wirecrest Museum of Art Biennial in Dothan, Alabama. So we may be in different states, but in the Southeast, we're all connected.
We are.
Well, I do have a specific question. So at Sunspec number 5 is the piece of art that's installed there at the Alamite. And you said you created that specifically for the Alamite. Is that correct? Did I hear you correctly?
That's correct.
Okay. So I've also noticed in looking at some of your stuff that there's more than one Sunspec. So why Sunspec number 5 for the Alamite in particular?
So I name my pieces sometimes not very original. I name my sunspecs and my spectral suns in order, but the colors are always defined half by what I'm influenced by and half what is coming from my heart. And so I never know what a piece is going to look like until it's finished. And sometimes halfway through painting, I get a little worried, but it always seems to come together.
Yeah, I'm interested in you do. I think in one of the pieces I was reading, you do some repelling off buildings to get ideas. Is that correct?
Absolutely, and that's not the purpose thing. I've gone up in shipping container cranes and ports and got to operate the cranes. I've spent hundreds of hours hanging out of a helicopter.
Oh my goodness!
Landscape around us. So I joke that my artwork is just a way for me to get to do these crazy things because I love seeing our world from a little bit of a distance because everything slows down and everything seems connected together.
Yes, yes, and your art reflects that because the diversity of your art kind of matches the diversity of your interests and your eye. You see things a little bit different than the rest of us somehow.
Well, when nobody's there to tell you exactly how to do something. No one's there to tell you exactly how to do the moon show. So you kind of make it up as you go along and you create something beautiful along the way.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for that comment. But yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. It's definitely a moving target and it's live radio and it can get really interesting. And we are really creating it as we go along, right?
Kind of
Johnnie?
like the noon show.
Yeah, that's right. So, but let me ask you this. So, Kate, do you think that art changes people subconsciously even when they don't fully understand what they're looking at?
100%. Artwork to me is how an artist experiences life and tries to put that in a visual field. And musicians are the same way. Anybody is creative and an artist. And so what we do is we see life and we experience it and we process it through our minds and our hearts, and then we try to model it for others. So I have a series of works that look at the molecular relationships of atoms, and
Is that the Spectre series?
Artwork a lot. Yes, that's correct. And so I paint giant paintings of things like caffeine or oxytocin or fentanyl or all kinds of feel-good hormones that the brain experiences, because if it's just written down on a page, it doesn't connect so much. But when you see these atoms and how they connect to each other, it can create always something really unexpected and beautiful.
That is
amazing.
so awesome. So let's just this is a good place to pause for just a moment, Kate. We're gonna go to break, but when we come back, we're gonna have more with Kate Osmond. Guys, you've been listening to the Noon Show on FM 100.1. Don't go away. We will be here right back. It's okay. Hey, everybody.
And welcome back to the Noon Show. We're just having, as we always do,
Oh my
we
gosh.
kind of fly by the seat of our pants some days. But thank you for being part of our family and joining us right here on FM 100.1. We're having a fascinating conversation about how art connects to life. And
We
Kate
are.
certainly interprets that from her perspective, which ends up being some beautiful work.
She does, and I want to get
Oh,
right
gosh.
back to her. But I wanted to let you know, Johnny. Quilts are they're one of the things people sometimes underestimate until they really stop and look closely. Every stitch represents somebody's story, somebody's family, and somebody's history.
Absolutely. And right now there's a fascinating exhibit over at the University of Alabama called Cotton, Cloth, and Community, and it brings together quilting traditions from all across Alabama.
That's right. What I love about this, it's not just art, it's culture. It's community memory.
That's
The
right.
this exhibit includes Tuscaloosa's bicentennial quilt and even a quilt created by UA students, which really connects generations through creativity.
That's right. And quilting has always been about more than just blankets. It's historically people gathering around quilting circles to share stories, support each other, and strengthen their communities.
Exactly. And this exhibit is a collaboration between the Gorgas House Museum, UA Museums, the Bearfield College of Arts and Sciences, and the Freedom Quilting Bee Legacy. It's on display through May the 30th at the Moore Wilson Gallery inside the Catherine and Pettis Randall Welcome Center.
Yeah, this is a very meaningful piece of Alabama culture that you don't want to miss.
Yes, thank you so much to the College of Arts and Sciences for being a proud sponsor of the Noon Show. And don't forget, roll tide and roll research.
Got to get over and see that. That's going to be a fabulous.
Yeah,
fabulous
y'all are not
exhibit.
going to miss that.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially the
that's
bicentennial quilt. I mean, all of it, but the
Well,
bicentennial quilt.
right. And those G's Ben ladies.
Oh, that's
All the
right.
tradition that comes with
That's
them
right.
is amazing.
Yes. So, okay, back to you, Kate. So we have in the studio with us today via Microsoft Teams, we have artist Kate Osmond. So I'm wondering, what do you hope somebody feels when they're standing in front of your work?
I think the first thing that they feel is not intimidated. The art world has this ability to seem opaque sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that that's a huge lost opportunity because everybody is creative. Everybody has some kind of beautiful artistry within them. And so I want my work to be generous and welcoming, and especially for people of all ages. So a child can walk up and find something, or a person who's been around the block and seen a lot of things might come to my work and hopefully find something new or even find something familiar. I want to model something that they know, but maybe in a slightly different perspective for them.
That's beautiful the way
That
you
is
describe
beautiful.
that. Yeah.
So, and I love the way you just said that everyone has creativity within them. So I'll be honest with you. I always said I'm not a creative person my entire adult life until after it took me getting on this show. And then it got pointed out to me, yes, but I'm not a painter. Okay. I'm not a painter. My brain doesn't think that way. I guess I always thought that to be creative, you had to be a painter or a drawer or someone who draws or a musician.
Yeah.
But there are different ways, and I'm able to see that now. But I didn't have Kate Osmond to explain that to me. So thank you for explaining that to the listeners. It's something to really think about. People are creative in different ways. They come up with ideas. It's kind of marvelous to think about.
And again, I go back to when I was doing some research on Kate, looking at some of her work. She uses creative ways to just see things from a different perspective. I mean, I admire the way you look at life. I mean, it just kind of, it's not, well, it's almost random in a way, but you do these cool things. I still can't get you off my mind rappelling off a roof.
She's adventurous and she's not a fraidy cat. Those are two of my takeaways so far.
Adventurous as
Hold on now. I am very afraid of many things.
What?
But the definition of bravery is to be afraid and to do it.
do it anyway.
Do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. But rappelling off of buildings, I don't know, Kate, if I will join you with that
Well,
one.
have
The
you
tricky
ever?
part is just that first step, because once you
It
go over the
is.
side, the only way to go is down.
Kate,
So
have you?
you can
That's
relax.
kind of the point for me, Kate.
Kate, have you ever jumped out of an airplane?
I've never jumped out of an airplane, but when I go up in a helicopter to photograph
Mm.
a city or a waterway, I have two questions for the pilot before he takes me up. The first is I need him to take off my door so that I can take good photographs. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
have a windshield between my camera and the landscape. And the second one is I need him to do something called a skid, where he takes the helicopter and he turns it on his side so I am pointing face down.
Oh my
And I always
goodness.
get a weird look from the pilot. He's eyeing me up, saying, "Is this girl gonna take off her seatbelt and do something?" But no, I have a pretty good relationship with the pilots I work with nowadays.
That actually would be more difficult than actually jumping. I've jumped, and it's easier than what you're doing. But see, that's what I mean. You have so many creative perspectives that then you share with us, those who are admiring your work.
Thank you very much. It's really nice reminding myself that this is probably the only time in my life that I'm going to be here in this body, and
Yes.
so I should experience as much as I can, and I should learn to be as kind as I can, and
Yes.
connect with as many things as I can, because my joints are going to give out eventually.
That's
and I
true.
won't be able to jump off of buildings.
That's unfortunate, but it is true. But yeah, I'm wondering. This is kind of a two-parter. So thinking about the helicopters and the cranes and rappelling from buildings. So at what point did you realize, Kate, that first of all, this is how I need to see the world, and then the second part is, does seeing cities and people from high above change how you think about humanity?
Oh, what a good question. I think that this is my art process because I never was very good at doing things exactly like I was supposed to. Growing up, I spent a lot of time in the vice principal's office. And it wasn't because I was, trying to be a bad kid. It's just we all have a way of seeing the world, and we don't always fit into a certain mold. And so I kind of got used to failure and making mistakes and just going my own way and trying to lift myself up every time I fell down. I think I've learned more from my failures than I have from my achievements. And in doing that, I can see that in others too. And so
Yes.
that builds connection, it builds empathy, and you find beauty in even the smallest places. You start to see, a flower growing out of a crack in a sidewalk, and you say, good for you, buddy. That must have been really hard to do.
Yeah. What
That's
a great
interesting.
philosophy of life that you're sharing with us, and thankfully we have your artwork but your philosophy of life. We hear that a lot here on the Noon Show from folks that talk about, failure is just part of the process, and we learn from it. At least we should learn from it. And the way you approach life, I'm just thankful we've met and that we can see it in your art.
Yeah, me too. And I love what you had to say about, you're talking about basically not really conforming in a way, is what it sounded like to me, and maybe had a little difficulty following the rules. But now you're so successful because you're following your own way. And I get when you're in school, they have rules, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But for those who maybe, and I never thought about it this way, this is the first time I've thought about it from this perspective, because I'm a little different than you. And that I'm one of those little rule followers that kind of always walked a straight line. But I never thought about it from the other side, in that maybe there are those who have a little trouble following the rules, and maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe it's the creativity. What do you think about that?
I definitely agree, but there's also a creativity in following the rules too. I mean, you can find your beauty in following that straight line and learning how to go on this straight and narrow, because being human is being messy. We're not
Sure.
robots. We're not
Yeah.
programmed a certain way. And so waking up in the morning, yes, it's a routine from the day before getting ready to go to work, but every day it's different. Every day our bodies are different. Every day our hair is doing something different. Every day our neighbor's in a different kind of mood. And so creativity is just a muscle. We're all born with it. You know, we all see little kids running around and making up stories and singing songs, and it's not something you lose forever. It's just something that you can exercise.
That's right. That's right. Kate, how long have you been in the art world?
Let's see. I mean, I've always been creative,
Okay.
but I was actually trained as a metal sculptor. So I would weld and I would have the big helmet on and the gloves. But it wasn't until
Wow.
yeah.
Somehow I missed that. Sorry. So please
So
continue.
I've
Sorry.
only ever taken one painting class in my whole life, and it was an intro to painting.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to be a painter. But when my youngest son was born, I had a lot of health problems as a product of it.
Okay.
And I went through a terrible postpartum depression, and I couldn't leave the bed or the couch, and so I couldn't weld, you know. So I picked up a paintbrush and I just started painting, and I
Yeah.
discovered that I took such joy in color and
Yes.
putting colors together and seeing how they interact next to each other. And a brown that I wouldn't like is gorgeous next to a hot pink that I do like. And
Yeah.
so ever since then, I don't look back. I love color. I love painting, and it's just, you know, the one of the oldest forms of mark making on the planet. We've
Of
been
course.
doing it for tens of thousands of
Yes.
years, but there's always something in it.
Right. Are you still doing any of the metal sculpture work? Or are you kind of giving that up?
The last thing I did was I welded with my son when he was 11. We built a fort for a school project, and it must have been 30 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
And so he had a heck of a time getting it into the school. I don't think I could ever get rid of my welder, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty busy nowadays with the painting.
Okay.
Okay, so when you really took an interest in painting, you said it was after the birth of your second son, right? And you had health problems. I found that interesting that to make that connection. Have you ever heard of Lester Potts? Okay, anyway, you might want to look him up. So it's someone that we know who didn't take an interest in painting until much later in life, and there's a whole story behind that. And so there are some similarities, but I'll leave that to you to look that up. It's very interesting. So it's almost like you had to slow down in a way to really
I had to
settle into it. But then once you started, you were inspired and you started, and it really caught your attention then. But when you were going on your merry way every day, putting one foot in front of the other, right? That wasn't the right time, I guess. I'm trying.
Absolutely.
Right. Does that make any sense? What I'm trying to say? I mean,
Absolutely. I had to see my body fail and my mind fail and to be tired, and I couldn't do, you know, I hit a dead end as far as what I wanted to do. So it's like if you're hiking through the forest and a tree falls in front of your path, are you just going to sit down and wait for that tree to rot away to keep going forward? Or are you going to go around it? Or are you going to go back and try again?
Or go over.
You gotta do something.
Yeah. Mr. Potts, who
I was
Lisa
hoping you would
was
tell
referring
me.
to, he started painting as he began to go through dementia and Alzheimer's. And his artwork is phenomenal.
It has been featured internationally.
Yes, and it's phenomenal.
Wonderful.
And again, to the human mind, the human brain, how it operates, there's an artistic piece in all of us that seems to stay with us forever. And it's like you're pointing out, it's a matter of tapping it and finding that way.
Right.
And I think, Kate, you're a good example of
Right.
helping us understand that we all have some art inside of us. And sometimes we need to see somebody else's art.
It's a wonderful message.
Yeah, and to see somebody else's art brings that out in us.
Right. And one other quick comment about Lester Potts in particular. So we know enough about him. We know his son. And Lester never did anything, Kate, that was not utilitarian. Not until he started going through dementia. So life sometimes has to slow us down as artists. That's really an interesting thought. I guess that would have started it's kind of me in a way. I mean,
Yeah.
I slowed down, retired, but anyway, it's totally different thing.
Yeah. Kate, do you have your paintings? I don't know how to ask the question, but
Oh,
do you do shows? Are they exhibited somewhere?
great question. Yeah.
And I mean, I assume we've got access to see your work somewhere. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Locally to Alabama, you can of course see my sunspec at the Alamite, but also on July 18th, the Wiregrass Museum of Art has a biennial, which is a big exhibition of arts and artists from the Southeast. And I have a painting there that shows an overhead view of what I call a tractor pull. You might call it county fair.
Ah,
We know what a tractor pull is. Yes.
It's bright pink and purple and orange, so it's like a tractor pull you've never seen before. But this year alone, I've shown in Palm Springs, California, Seattle, Washington, the University of Northern Colorado. And next year, I'm going to have a solo survey exhibition of all my work at the Columbia Museum of Art in South Carolina.
Oh, how wonderful.
Okay,
We're going to have to take
yeah.
a quick break, but when we come back, I want to know more about how we can find your artwork and how do we buy it?
Yes, and I have another question for Kate too. So we'll reveal the answers to those questions when we come back and more. You've been listening to the Noon Show on FM 100.1. Don't go away. We will be here right back.
And welcome back to the
Yeah.
Noon Show. This is a fascinating conversation
Oh,
with
yeah.
Kate. And as we were talking off the air, her artwork is really, really interesting because it has so many different perspectives. But I'm loving her philosophy of life.
Oh, yeah.
I really am appreciating. I hope our listeners are picking up some really good advice. I know it's not meant to be advice, but it's good advice that, we all see things from different perspectives.
We
can
do.
all follow our own paths. Failure is okay. We just pick ourselves up and learn from it and go on.
That's right.
I
So,
love it.
yeah, so right away, Kate, I just would like to know from you a couple of things. First of all, have you ever had someone approach you in the manner that I did? I was just so that art piece of artwork has just really grabbed me. I just love it. I love it, love it. Has anyone ever approached you in quite that way before?
Well, let's see. I mean, I've done a lot of artwork, and some works that I think is really successful sometimes doesn't resonate with and then sometimes viewers will really resonate with something that I'm like, huh. So when I started painting the Sunspec series, for me, it was just I want to create my idea of life in the most simplest terms possible. So someone could look at it and see beauty, joy, and hope. And when I painted it, I was kind of surprised at myself when I did, actually. But for those paintings that I make, I think that me and the viewer are on the same page, where it's sometimes you find something, like you write a sentence and the sentence is so beautiful that it just didn't feel like it came from you.
Right.
And so sometimes I will get some hugs, but I'm a big hugger, so I'll take it.
Me too, Kate. Too bad we're virtual. But yeah, obviously Sunspec number 5 really resonates with me. And I don't want to really go into particulars at this moment, but I do have one other kind of hefty sort of question. So, in your opinion, is modern life maybe making people in general, are they less observant? Maybe they don't see the spectacular paintings on the wall.
Yeah, you know what? That's a question I think we're all trying to answer all the time. I will say that I notice, being a child who grew up before the internet and now with the internet, that I feel like I exist in more than one place at once, because I'm sitting here talking to you, but also I am getting emails and I'm thinking about what's going on later, and I have a digital representation of my life on, my social media. And so it kind of feels like there's a lot of layers to life. But
Yeah.
also, when I walk out into my front garden, all of that disappears. So in a way, it kind of feels like a choice, where if I want to engage with a big, broader audience, yes, I do have to have a digital representation of myself. But I do, now that I'm getting a little older, I'm being much more firm in protecting the piece, and I'm building the piece for myself.
Yeah, and that makes
That's
sense.
a great message.
With my kids.
Yeah, it makes sense. And your point is that we do have a choice, and we choose what we want to look at, how we participate, how we react. So it's all a choice. But I want to go back and where can we find, I assume your artwork's for sale, obviously. Where do we find your artwork so we can look at more of this creative mind of yours?
For sure. I would recommend going to my website first and foremost, and it's just my name, KateOsmond.com, and that's my legal name. That's the real thing. And in there, I have all the paintings that I've ever done, but I also have my email address. You can chat to me about whatever you want. I love talking about art and life and the tough questions.
Yes.
I am represented in galleries across the U.S. and I have shows there as well. And I do have work for sale, and it's listed on the website. But I also offer prints, because we're all at different stages at all different times in our lives. And I totally vibe with that.
Yeah, we've got to ask you the obvious question.
I know you're going for it, Johnny.
How did you get
the middle name?
Hooray.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't my given name growing up.
Okay.
But as I mentioned, when I had a very difficult time with my last son, giving birth to him, and my health crisis, there was a very good chance that I wasn't going to be here on this planet anymore.
Oh, wow.
And so when I knew that I was going to make it through, I made the conscious decision to live my life. And I mean live with a capital L.
Yes.
And so I chose that as a word, one of my favorite words, as a guide going forward. But I don't think it's as cool, because my son's middle name is Shipwreck, and I think that's much cooler.
Oh my goodness. That is so cool. But I love Hooray.
I do too.
It's inspired by the quote from Voltaire that a ship is safe in the harbor, but that's not what it's for.
Okay. I love your philosophy of life. It's really touching, and you've built off of experiences that were not all that great. And
No.
and to be able to build off of those experiences is a lesson in itself. And we appreciate
Thank
that.
you very much.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah. I
That's,
mean, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh,
That's connected to the Spectra series about the molecules.
Yeah.
Is not all the molecules that I pick are what I would say beautiful, pretty ones. You know, a lot of them are tied to substances that have a cultural history of abuse and addiction and pain and death. And so, if
Yes.
we avoid these things, I don't think that we can find our way through. It's, you know, when you go into a dark room, you turn the lights on, and if you can't turn the lights on, then you put your hands out and you start feeling your way through to get to what you need to get to. And
Mm-hmm.
so, how can we make something that brings pain or anguish into something that's not so scary? We can
Yes.
find
So-
beauty and humanity in it.
That's wonderful. I
So-
love the way you think.
yeah. So is that what inspired you to connect chemistry and art, sort of, or is it
Yes,
something else? Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I'm a chemist, but I started wondering about these medical molecules and substances, and I said, well, when I looked at the chemical structure, it's not all that scary anymore. It's just a bunch of dots and circles all together. And so how can that cause pain if we can distill something down to be so very simple? Then we can start to build discussions based on that.
Yeah.
And through that, I learned, you know, how carbon bonds to oxygen and what
Right.
happens to the electrons. And then chemistry became really, really cool.
Yeah, and around here we've started, a matter of fact, we've been doing it several months now, connecting chemistry, physics, research to the world and trying to help understand it and help our listeners understand the
Yeah.
connection. And this is a real good example
Right.
of
But
connection art to chemistry.
right. But have you had any scientists ever react to your work in any particular way?
I think they do kind of what you're doing now. They see, oh, science and art can go together. But if you think about science or art or mathematics or really anything, they're just different languages of life. They're just different
Yes.
facets of how we see it. And they're not standalone. We need all of them because life
Right.
is so big.
Yes, and we around here we focus on STEAM, which is science, technology. We've added arts to STEM is what we've done. And so we concentrate on STEAM kind of stories, which you're a perfect example of how you connect science and art.
Well, thank you. I mean, science is neat, and it's all around us every single day.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
This has
Oh my
been
gosh, this has been an
absolutely
absolutely
delightful.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, Kate, you're just a breath of fresh air.
Well, hot dog.
I mean, your work is beautiful, and I mean, it's really, really touched us. But your philosophy of life, I think, is what I think our audience. I know I've benefited from it, the conversation, and I know our audience has today. So, thank you for sharing yourself with us.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you. I mean, woo, I'll come anytime with those kind of compliments. Thank you.
Okay, Kate, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really, really appreciate it. If you'll just hang out on the meeting after we get off the air for just a few minutes, that would be great. But I wanted to go ahead before we sign off, Johnny Rocket, to let everybody know who's coming on the show tomorrow. So tomorrow we've got Spencer Smith, also known as the Bishop,
That's
from
right.
93.3. Praise 93.3
That's right.
coming on the show. And so Maestro and I got a little glimpse of what he was talking to his listeners about today. And our listeners are going to be treated to that tomorrow. He talks
cool.
about
He's
finding
just
your
cool.
purpose and following your path, right,
Yeah.
Maestro?
Yep.
And it is fascinating. Kate, you're going to want to hear this. You're not going to miss a single second. And also, I would like to remind everyone, don't forget to spay or neuter your furry friends and keep those tails wagging with up-to-date vaccinations. For Johnnie Aycock, I'm Lisa Jones, signing off for the Noon Show. But before we go, I'd like to wish everyone a splendiferous,